Oh, is it? That's right. Yeah. Well, see, and I show 6. One of the best things I ever did was buy a watch. I like it so much better than my phone.
It always comes at either different.
I get distracted by my phone. So.
It's not a big deal. I had talked to them.
How are they? They're doing well?
Yeah, they both teach English in South Korea. So they do well. Thank you. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
Who is that?
She's good. She's at, she's an administrator, something at what used to be Rose Manor. And she and Bobby, my youngest, we both work there. Bobby's a CNA and she's, I don't know, she's there working. Okay, very good.
Helped amazingly. And we went through a period of about 4 months where we were just and then I agreed to go put it in. And he didn't ask me.
Everybody hear me okay? Am I on?
Yeah.
We're good? All righty. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you coming out. 6:01, we would get started. I don't think we have a kid tonight.
Doesn't look like it.
That's too bad. So it's just gonna be me. That's kind of boring. So I call this meeting to order. I can't even say it right. I'm so not used to saying it. All right, let's call the roll.
Matthews.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Flood. Bolt.
Here.
Rutherford.
Here.
Seahorn. Salter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. And I understand we have Tanner Newman here, and Travis didn't tell me what church you were with. Tanner?
Life Church.
Life Church.
Yay.
Well, if you would, come on down and you can say our invocation for us. Appreciate you coming.
Now, I don't know about Bob. I'm just saying. No. Thank you. Thanks for letting me come up here. I've grown up here all my life, so it's really cool to get together in here and be here today. So let's go ahead and pray. Father, thank you so much for every person in this room, for the family that they represent, for the people that they represent. And thank you, God, Lord, that you have chosen each and every person here to be in a position of authority and leadership. And we ask in this moment, Lord, that you would just be in the midst of this room, that you would help us all to speak with integrity, with faith, with trust, and with hope. God, we thank you for what you've allowed us to be a part of, to be able to impact so many people in our city of Shawnee. We thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. Thank you for equipping us and giving us your wisdom. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All righty, we do flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, so we'll go to item number 2. I'm sorry. Let's do 1 first. That'd make more sense. I've got 2 that have signed up for citizen participation. Same rules as always. 3 minutes per person, 12 minutes per subject. We will not respond, but I promise you we are listening. You may hear something from one of us during the end when we do commissioners' comments. So, Rob Morris, we've got you on first. So come on up, Rob.
Good evening. For the Shawnee Ford Grant Program, it's ended, I guess I'm sure y'all probably know. And today they did the presentation for the county at their meeting at 1 p.m. I'm kind of curious why they couldn't be here tonight to give it to the city as well. I mean, y'all gave them money too, and it's Shawnee Forward. The other thing, from looking at the Shawnee Forward contract, December 6th, we got the program. December 16th, and I want to point this out he's not here tonight, unfortunately, from a friend to a friend, a citizen to a Shawnee Ford board member. But Mr. Vondren made a motion to remove that point system on the rubric that showed preference to chamber members. of Shawnee or Tecumseh. And it failed due to lack of a second. That's why it failed. Well, in the Shawnee Ford contract, either the mayor or your designee, as voted on by the commission, is supposed to be a voting member on that board. We would have had the second that we needed to be able to take that off where the preference was gone, to where it was a good program. But we don't have anybody that's on the Shawnee Ford board. So I would like to ask that on the next meeting, 2 weeks from now, that's on the agenda, and that the commission take a vote, whether it be the mayor or his designee, doesn't matter. Y'all take a vote, but put somebody on the board that's there looking out for the city. So with that, I appreciate it. And I wish Joe was here because I would like to say thank you to him for standing up and making a motion not to do it.
There he is.
Is he here?
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Careful what you wish for. There he is.
What? I said when you made the motion to take the rubric, the preferential point system off the rubric and show it to the board that it failed due to lack of a second. We're saying thank you for that motion.
Not often I get thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's see. Next at bat is Jeremy Davidson.
Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to give a brief report on the results of the Small Business Relief Grant that was facilitated by Shawnee Forward. We were unable to get all of the funding deposited into our account in time to ask to be on the official agenda tonight, but wanted to give you a brief overview since the funds will be distributed this week and the results will be published in the newspaper before your next meeting. And as a fact, we've begun calling the award winners today, and we'll be awarding those this week. Shawnee Ford received 64 total eligible applications, and 33 of them will receive funding. The total amount funded will be $105,000. That amount was made possible by you and 2 other caring contributors. $50,000 was contributed by Pottawatomie County, $50,000 by you, the City of Shawnee, and $5,000 from the City of Tecumseh. While the total sales loss represented by the applicants was more than $4.2 million, the award recipient with the greatest year-over-year revenue loss was $649,000, and they were a service industry that does not pay sales tax. So their pain is not reflected in the sales tax revenue trends of our city that have been reporting to be steady. We have found service-type industries to make up the largest request for funding. The task force evaluated all 64 applicants and their proposed business plan and anticipated return on investment. If they were able to award the remaining businesses that would have been awarded funds, they would need an additional $78,000. We will submit for the next commissioners meeting and ask for additional funding to help the small businesses that we were unable to fund in this present pool of applicants. The county, as of today's meeting, has offered to fund $50,000 of that remaining $78,000 if we can secure an additional $28,000 from the City of Shawnee and the City of Tecumseh. So overall, we will be placing $105,000 in CARES Act funding back into the small businesses of our community, and we thank you for your contribution and support.
Thank you very much. All righty. Okay, so we go on to item 2, consideration approval of the consent agenda. Anybody want to take anything off of consent agenda? Anybody need to remove anything?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Then Darren. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Let's call the question on approval. And it passes 5-0. Thank you very much. We're up to the item 3, pet of the week.
They're out on an emergency call right now.
So pet's out on an emergency. All right. Thank you, sir. Item 4, discussion and consideration of a contract with CEC Corporation for professional design services regarding the Independence Street Sidewalk design project from Kickapoo Street to Harrison Street. And I think we got Seth, sure enough,
Yes,
there he
yes,
is.
sir. Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. So the next 3 items are actually me following up from an item you guys had back in December when I asked for permission to begin contract negotiations with 3 separate firms for 3 separate sidewalk projects we're going to have going on here in town. So as the mayor said, the first project is the Independence Street project, which goes from Kickapoo over to Harrison. And for this one, we selected and negotiated with CEC. They have a proposed contract of $99,736. That would be for design of an ADA compliant sidewalk. It would be on the north side of Highland, and it would be all of the associated retaining walls, utility relocation, driveway removal and replaceable design, et cetera. So it's for all of that. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have.
I think it was Independence rather than Highland, right?
I'm sorry.
That's
The first
okay.
one's
That's
Independence,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is the north side on Independence?
North side on Independence, correct. Yes, sir.
What's the width of that sidewalk?
So it'll, for probably 99% of it, it'll be 6 foot because it'll be pinned directly to the back of curb. There is a couple of sections in there that has existing sidewalk that actually goes off of the back of curb. And those portions will be evaluated, and if they're deemed ADA compliant, we'll leave them in place. So
Right.
if you look at the whole section, it'll vary, but for a majority of it and the sidewalk that we're putting in, it's going to be 6 foot wide.
So it looks to me from driving down that there will be quite a few fences that have to be
Yeah,
moved. Isn't that
yes,
right?
there'll be some fences and there'll be some retaining wall for, you know, you have the grade sloping
Right.
down the back of curb. So there'll be
Yep.
retaining wall, new ADA ramps, relocating some O&E power lines that have poles in the area, and then any fire hydrants we have in the way, manholes we have in the way, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Well, we got Seth. I think he's gonna be right back. A couple times. I don't see any questions, but this is one I'm really glad to see done. That's a real tight walk down there with that
Right.
slope. That's just not a good place to walk, so this ought to make things a lot safer for folks, in my opinion. So, seeing no, anybody want to make a motion? See if we don't have
I'll
any
make
more
a motion to
questions.
approve.
Bob, okay.
I'll second.
And, all righty, a motion and a second, so let's call the question. All righty, it passes 5-0, so we'll, might as well just say good for a while. Item 5, discussion and consideration of a contract with Craft and Tull for professional design services regarding the Highland Street sidewalk
Yeah, so
design project from Harrison to Bryan.
Yes, that's why I misspoke a minute ago, sorry. It's, this, as he said, on Highland Street from Harrison over to Bryan. We selected Craft and Toll. They have a proposed contract of $48,000, and this one's actually gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna do a 10-foot wide,
Really?
kind of extension of the Bryan Street Trail. So
Right.
it'll be on the south side of Highland, and so it actually ties in, so you'll be able to get all the way over to Harrison. There might be a couple of spots right there where we have to squeeze it down from 10 to a 6 foot or something, because if you're familiar, the south side has a couple of areas of retaining wall. So we'll just do a cost analysis, and hopefully we can keep it at about 10 foot, but that's the goal. So with that, if you have any questions.
I like this price better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's half the amount.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not quite as
Yeah,
far.
is that not the same distance as?
it's roughly the same distance.
Both are a mile?
It's right at a mile. So that was kind of my initial reaction as well, and I think a fair question. But really, Craft and Toll, to be honest with you, gave us a pretty aggressive proposal in that sense. And then also, they're two very different corridors, as you know. Independence Street's very tight. Highland, after the widening, is a little bit more spread out, so they're not going to have some of the utility challenges that we're going to have on Independence. So that's a part of it. And then also, in a big piece of it is the railroad. They're not going to have to coordinate or have any meetings or permitting with the railroad, which is a big, kind of a big undertaking for it. So there's a couple of reasons really, but for the most part, I think it's that Craft and Toll knows that we have more projects coming down the road, and they wanted to be competitive in the way they priced it.
Awesome.
Well, pretty cool.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
All right.
I'll second.
And Darren. Okay, we have motion and a second, so let's call the question. And that passes 5-0. All right. Item 6, discussion and consideration and contract with Olson Inc. for professional design services regarding the Kickapoo Street Sidewalk Design Project from Interstate 40 to Macarthur Street. You're up again, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So for this one, as you said, Olson, their proposed contract was $94,912. It goes from I-40 to Macarthur, and it is actually on both sides of the street. So it'll be filling in the gaps, and then an evaluation of the existing sidewalks to make sure, if there's any sections that have raised sections or non-compliant cross slopes, we'll remove and replace. So, but that includes that kind of commercial corridor right there north of 45th, and then from 45th all the way to OBU.
Right.
Are any of the properties there ones that have paid in lieu of putting in a sidewalk? Have we done any of that on that area?
So that it's possible. There's a couple of commercial spots, specifically like Sonic right there on north of 45th, that they don't have any frontage sidewalk where they we probably should have. So I haven't looked into specifically if any of them paid sidewalk in fee in lieu of. But we are just doing the gap filling in. We will be filling in those gaps.
Okay, so if they did pay an in lieu, then that'll offset the cost of what that bid is?
Yeah, ideally. But I mean, like I said, I haven't looked at any of them did, so I couldn't speak
Okay.
intelligently on whether they did or didn't.
Any other questions? No, I think that'd be really neat because that'll connect from OBU all the way up to basically the interstate.
Yeah, really, after the Kickapoo widening, it gives us ADA access from I-40 to Farrell down Kickapoo.
Yeah.
So,
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I move to accept.
Second.
All righty. Aaron and Bob. All righty, so we have a motion and a second. Let's call the question. And that passes 5-0. Thank you, Seth, for all your hard work. All righty, item 7. Consider a resolution canvassing the results. I'm sorry. All righty, let's try that again. Consider a resolution canvassing the results of a special election conducted in the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma on the 12th day of January 2021 for the approval of ordinance number 2697NS, granting a franchise to One Oak Inc., acting by and through its Oklahoma Natural Gas Company division and its successors, and assigns for the sale, transportation, and distribution of natural gas, and accepting the results of such special election and declaring the measure as passed. So let's see, I think you're up, Lisa.
Yes, Mayor. ONG requested this resolution. It is just acknowledging the certified election results from the January 12th election.
All righty. Any questions or comments?
So I guess we just make a motion. Okay, I'll make that motion to approve the election results from the.
Bob
Second.
and Daniel.
And just for clarification, Commissioner, that's a motion to approve the resolution. This is in the form of a resolution.
Yeah, it's just the
We'll go through the
Okay,
resolution.
not the vote, but the resolution.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So we're just acknowledging the results of the election, basically, aren't we?
Correct.
Yeah.
Acknowledging the county, acknowledging
There you
and
go.
certifying.
There you go. All right, we good? All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's call the question.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
I'll
I'm
read the
sorry, you gotta
resolution
read
title.
this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A resolution canvassing the results of the special election conducted in the city of Shawnee, Oklahoma on the 12th day of January 2021 for the approval of ordinance number 2697NS, granting a franchise to One Gas Inc., acting by and through its Oklahoma Natural Gas Company division and its successors and assigns for the sale, transportation, and distribution of natural gas, and accepting the results of such special election and declaring the measure as passed.
All righty. Thank you, sir. So now we have motion second, and we've been read to, so now let's vote. And that passes 5-0. Thank you guys very much. Okay, item 8, consider a resolution declaring certain items surplus property and authorizing the sale of said items at auction or disposal at the City of Shawnee's discretion. So I think Brad's up. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good.
First and foremost, I want to apologize for the typos that were in the, with the original resolution. That was a mistake on my part that wasn't caught until after the agenda was sent. These items, it's various trucks, trailers that range from 22 to 40 years old and are past their useful life for our operations. We'll place these on an auction site and remove them from our location. So, answer any questions.
Any questions?
I think you guys do a very good job at getting all the life out of the equipment.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What'd you say the oldest one was? 40 something?
40, yes, sir.
Holy cow.
So
Say we got our money's worth out of that.
we did.
Okay, anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
sir. Okay, so you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes,
A
sir.
resolution declaring certain items of personal property surplus and no longer needed for city purposes, describing said items, and authorizing the sale of said items by auction, and in the event items do not sell at auction, disposal at the city's discretion.
All right, thank you, sir. So got a motion and a second, so let's call the question. And that passes 5-0. Okey-doke. So we're on item 9, consider bids. This would be Shawnee Splash Water Park Pool Paint Project. And I've got James on his way down. How are you, James?
Good evening. On January 19th, 2021, we opened the bids for the Shawnee Pool Painting Project. We had 2 submittals. We went back on the lowest bid and we called some of their references they had, spoke with them. We also talked to a contractor that did get a bid packet but did not bid on the project to get his perspective on the bid cost that was submitted. And I also made sure and went over the complete bid with the lowest bidder to make sure that he did not miss anything in that bid. And all seemed to be well with everything that was submitted. So what staff is requesting to do is to award the bid to the lowest bidder, which is the Utility Maintenance Contractors of Wichita, Kansas, in the amount of, for the pool painting, $62,350, and for 2,550 square feet of pool house flooring at $7.85 a square foot, $20,017, for a total of $82,367.
And what was your estimated cost before going out to bid?
Our estimate was running around $100,000, just by listening to the contractors talk as they were looking at the project. We had previously, a couple of years ago, kind of had a contractor take a look at it, and that was going to be about the roundabout price for it too. So we were expecting $100,000.
Good, good.
That was a big difference percentage-wise in those 2 bids.
There was, and you know, the person or the company that had the highest bid there was going to bid with one of the other contractors and didn't. And from what I'm understanding is that contractor tried to get him to lower his bid a little bit, and he wouldn't do it. So he was really busy when he came and looked at it.
Yeah.
You know, some of them will bid real high, even though they don't have time to do it. But if they get the job, they get the job. I've seen that before.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any,
Pay them enough to make time, I guess. Huh? Yeah.
I mean, Mayor Bolt talked
Yes,
about
sir.
the difference. Do you have any concerns? I mean, we were expecting 100,000 and here it comes in at 62 and then I guess the.
After talking to some of the projects they have done previously, pool painting projects for municipalities, there has not been any problem with the paint jobs that he's done, and they've been exactly the same thing. And one of those cities, he's done it 4 years in a row for them. So,
Oh, it was 4 different pools.
it was a big facility.
Yeah. And how long do we expect this to last for?
You know, we really should be looking at this in 5 years
In 5
to do it again. But we'll see. I mean, we're going on our 7th year. We're
Right.
fixing to open up our 7th year on this facility, and you know, it probably should have been done last year. So, you know, 5, 6 years, we probably need to do it again.
Yeah, we have a big investment in pools. I mean, we want to take good care of it and make sure it lasts. Any other questions? Benny, you've been quiet down there.
Everything's been satisfactory so far.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'll second.
All righty. Yeah, so we have a motion and a second. Let's call the question. And that passes 5-0. You're up to item 10. Holy cow, new business already. Any new business?
No new business,
I'm so
sorry.
used to looking over here for that, I'm sorry. So no new business. Commissioners' comments. Benny, you want to start down there at your end?
Well, I'm just excited at all the construction that's going on all around Shawnee. As you drive around and look, that's indicative that we're doing something right in Shawnee. People are wanting to bring business as well as new homes to Shawnee.
I'm glad to see our sidewalk program get started and going. This will be a great thing for everyone. So glad to see this headed in a good direction.
I'll just echo what Ben said. It's exciting to see all the construction. I'm one of those that bugs people quite honestly about saying what's going in here and what's going on here. And I was pleased to be able to ask Rebecca the other day on some of those. And I know we get a report, I think a monthly report on activity, and appreciate that. That's real helpful just to have us be informed so we can pass on to the citizens that have the same questions that we do. But it is exciting to see the remodeling and the new construction and the growth, and hopefully it continues to be orderly and we maintain that we require that any of that landscaping, anything that's done that's required of their construction be followed through in the years to come. So appreciate it. It's exciting to see things going on.
Quickly, I believe Commissioner Weaver may have a birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
I
goodness.
do.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, yeah.
35.
Yeah, double that and add 2.
Appreciative of your service throughout your entire career and your friendship up here. And
Thank you.
Wish you the best in the coming
Appreciate
year. A couple things. I saw Ashley attended the state legislature today, and being a legislation guy, I've always kind of thought that Shawnee should be maybe more represented up there because I think we definitely have interest up there. And well, just quickly, one thing that maybe citizens want to know about, maybe they don't, but House Bill 2839, read it and reach out to your people. It would prohibit municipalities such as ourselves from hiring emergency management staff. And I just, our emergency management staff does such a good job. And that would not be a good thing for our community. But make up your own minds and reach out and go from there. Sidewalks, Really excited about the progress we're making. The Bryan Trail's been such a good thing, but really this will increase connectivity, and it's great for people to be able to get out and exercise, but this will have economic impacts for people that need to get to and from work, things like that, make it safer. And then, of course, really excited about the pool project. Such a great investment for our community, and great things going on. Excited to be part.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, the sidewalks, I'm very excited to see the next step taken on that. I just think it's gonna make it a lot safer for folks to get around town. The other night, I know Phyllis and I were headed down to Independence, and there was someone out there walking, and man, oh man, there's no place to walk, and they were out in the road, and it's dark, and, you know, luckily we could see them, but I wouldn't want to walk out there, that's for sure. So I think we're making some progress there. We talked about that election real quick, and, you know, that was kind of a housekeeping thing. That, man, sadly, I think only about 200 people voted on that, and I just hate to see 200 folks make a decision for 35,000. And I mean, we just need to get out and vote. So please go vote when we have elections. I don't think I've got anything else. So we will move on to a recess and go to the, let's see, which one we got next? Is it the Airport Authority, I believe? So we will go to item 1 in there in the Airport Authority agenda. Consider approval of consent agenda. I don't think there's much there, but
I move to approve.
all righty, Daniel. Thank you, sir.
Second.
I think that was Darren.
Yep.
Benny's been quiet, so I knew that'd be Darren on the right side there. All righty, so we've got a motion and a second. We'll call the question. And that passes 5-0. We're going to consider bids. Your lease of Shawnee Airport Authority property located at the Shawnee Regional Airport, 2202 Airport Drive, Shawnee, Oklahoma, for the purpose of harvesting hay. Opening of the bid. I think Bonnie's going to come talk to us. Looks like we got some handouts here.
Yeah, I didn't want to, cross
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
demarcation line.
Oh,
so
you're
so
good.
Forgive the informal nature
We got
of
it.
these
We got
background.
it covered. All that matters, we get it done, right?
Get her done.
Thank you, sir. You guys got one there?
Yes, I passed that with you.
All righty, very good. Thank you so much. All right, Bonnie, you're up.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here this evening and announce that we have 2 bids in response to our publication for bids. One at $2,500 per year and one at $750 per year. And the great news is we get to accept the high bid this time.
Say that again.
We get to accept the high bid this time. And that the high bid is for the lease of approximately 200 acres of land at the Shawnee Regional Airport for the purpose of cutting and harvesting hay. It's a 3-year term on that agreement, and there's not a whole lot more to it, but I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission has related to the lease.
What's the previous amount in the comparable term?
In comparable terms, that is a tricky question. I'm glad you asked that because the previous lease was a per bale lease.
Holy cow.
And that did not work out particularly well. Seasonally speaking, we actually lost more money than we gained in some cases. And that particular individual did not choose to submit a bid this time. So in this case, the Board of Advisors discussed it, and we opened up some additional acreage to encompass the north side of the airport as well as the southeast side of the airport that is applicable for hay if you choose to go get it, and did it as a flat rate because the variables of the seasons and the capacity and can you get the tractor in, can you get the tractor out, wasn't really helping us because at the end of the day, the collection was as much as the person who was collecting it chose to put the effort into it. At this rate, we're looking at $2,500 a year whether he gets a single blade of grass or not. And to be quite honest with you, the amount of acreage that my team and I do not have to cut is in and of itself a benefit.
Yes,
This could have been a much lower figure and we still would have won out on it.
Gotcha.
So in past years, to answer your question, on average, it was between $600 and $700, maybe $800, depending on the particular season and how much was available. I can tell you that in the last couple of years, we've had ridiculous rains. And it's very, very challenging to get to the areas during that time. And so the encouragement here is you've already spent the money, go get the grass.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You guys get any other questions?
Just a maybe housekeeping comment. I've known the high bidder and been a personal friend of for almost my entire life, so I'm going to abstain from this vote.
That's fine.
Just so
That's your
everybody
call.
knows, just so.
Yep. All righty, thank you, Bonnie. All right, gentlemen, anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the
All
highest
righty.
bid of 2,500.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
All righty. All right, we've got a motion and second. Let's call the question. And we have 4 yes and 1 abstention, so motion passes. Any new business at the airport?
No new business.
No new business, so we are adjourned. We'll move on to the municipal authority. Item 1 is consideration approval of consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Sir? And Bob. Okay, we got a motion and a second. We'll call the question. And that passes 5-0. Item 2 is consider a resolution declaring certain items surplus property and authorizing donation of said items to the Potawatomi County Development Authority. And in the event items are not accepted, disposal at the Shawnee Municipal Authority's discretion. So Brad, you're up again, sir.
Yes, sir. So these are the good meters left over that were replaced through our AMI project.
Right.
Operational meters. So this would benefit PCDA and our water system both.
Right.
They requested up to 520, and we have 513 available.
Pretty good match, wasn't it?
Very close.
Brad, do these have salvage value?
Very little. It's what 90 cents to $1.10 a pound of clean brass. So I have to pay employees to take them apart, strip them down to the brass housing, and then salvage. We'll make that in water loss that's unaccounted for presently.
Just so we're gonna, if we choose to donate these, they're gonna use these as replacements to upgrade some of their older ones.
Correct.
But then those older ones that they're taking out, the salvage value to those is not worth
It's-
us asking for that and then us selling the salvage. It's just more trouble than it's worth.
Yes, sir.
So just let them have these and keep what they have.
Yes, that would be best, because it's labor intensive, taking apart, sorting it by piece.
So it probably costs you more in employee
Yes, sir.
time than what the salvage value would be worth, it sounds like.
We tried that in the in the initial phase, in the beginning phase of the AMI project. We did break some down and to see, and it's not, you lose money.
All righty. Any other questions?
I make a motion that we make the donation.
All righty, thank you, sir.
Second.
Bob and Dan. All righty, so we have a motion, we have a resolution, don't we? So,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank
A
you, sir.
resolution declaring certain items of personal property surplus and no longer needed for the Shawnee Municipal Authority purposes, describing said items and authorizing the donation of said items to the Potawatomi County Development Authority, and in the event items are not accepted, disposal at the Shawnee Municipal Authority's discretion.
thank you, sir. All right, we got a motion and a second, so we call the question. And that passes 5-0. Any new business? See,
No
this
new
time I looked
business.
the right way. No new business, so we are adjourned. Let's see, we need to go back pages. Find my spot again. All righty, so we will reconvene city commission meeting. Item 12, consider an executive session to discuss municipal judges' performance, evaluation, and employment contract pursuant to 25 OS 307B1, discussing the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee.
I move to go to executive session.
Thank you, sir. And well, that was Bob, I think. All righty, so we have a motion and a second, so we'll call the question to go into executive session. And that passes 5-0, so we will go to executive session. We will be right back. We will reconvene, and we are not going to take any action on what was discussed in executive session, so.
Do we need to read the item?
I'm sorry?
Do we need to read the item?
Oh, we need to read it again. Okay, consider matters discussed, and I'm glad you caught that. Consider matters discussed in executive session regarding the municipal judge's performance evaluation and employment contract pursuant to 25 OS 307B1, discussing the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual salaried public officer or employee. So I've kind of let the cat out of the bag, so we weren't going to take any action on what was discussed in there, so I guess we are adjourned. All right.